Who's ready for some more woodland decor ideas? Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome. To start off with, we are going to make a book fairy. Yes, fairies again, y'all. Okay, I ordered these from Temu. I ordered 2 of them, so we're going to do 2 projects. This is what they look like when you get them from Temu. They are just made to sit outside in the yard. I'll try to find that link for y'all and put it in the description box. This is not sponsored. You're going to need some type of a moss mat or some moss, some foam, sanding block, some tape, something to cut with, some clippers. We're going to need some flat white paint or chalk paint. And then we're going to take the chalk paints here in relatively similar shades. And this is thrifted. This is a book stack box. Love it. I've had it for a long time. Finally decided what I want to do with it. We're going to use mushrooms. I've got these foam mushrooms that I've had for a while. I've done more projects with those. And then these I ordered from Temu, little minis. I have these scraps right here. This is from a lovely friend who donated some ribbons and some greenery. And then I'm going to start off with my sanding block and just go over these. Some of these areas on these books are raised, and I want to make them, relatively flat. I want the box to not be the main focus. See how yucky that is? So I've sanded most of it, tried to get most of the shiny off. Not going to focus on the pages. We're going to leave that as is. I'm going to start with the moss green color. I think this is Spanish moss. And I just decided to put this one on the bottom. So I'm going to color the entire thing. Be sure after you sand that you wipe it off. I don't think I showed that, but be sure you wipe it off because you saw all that dust, the paint particles and stuff that come off, and you don't want that loose in your paint. So you just be sure you wipe it. Then I'm going to go also on the sides, because remember we always look at all angles, and right on the inside too we're going to paint that green. For me, drying it with some type of a tool in between is helpful, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And then I'm going to take the hinges off. This is so easy. This is just a little tiny screwdriver. You can probably get like a glasses repair kit, something like that, for a little screwdriver like that. And you can get those at Dollar Tree. And just going to take those hinges off. Take it off both sides and the screws, and I'm going to save those for another project. So in order not to lose them, just going to put them in a little cup, put some painter's tape, and it's safe. Set it to the side, and it'll go in my toolbox. All right, we're going to move on. I've got the bottom painted completely with my 3 shades, and now I'm going to go up top and paint this one. This color right here is sheepskin. That gray color, I cannot remember exactly what that gray color was, but it was like it's one of my newer paints, so I haven't used it before. Be sure you shake your paint too before you use it, or stir it. Okay, she's going to get a coat of this flat white, and so is the other one. So both of those will be painted and dried. It's going to give us a decent base. But before we get started, it's really important that we cut off any glue that's on there. Get something to sand with and get your resin even if there's any spikes or areas that are not even. I'm looking to try to make it as symmetrical as possible on her wings. Also, there's like a little extra, little bits and pieces here and there. You wouldn't notice it if it was sitting in your yard, perhaps, but since it's going to be a place we have to see it all the time and we will be looking at it closely, I want to make sure that it doesn't drive me nuts. So any sharp corners where the seams are, I'm just going to sand over those with my little nail file. And or you can use a sanding block, whatever, but the nail file gets in those little creases, and it makes it easy to use. And I'm just going to round off all those edges and make sure I don't have any clumps of glue that are showing, because when we put the paint on there, you'll be able to see all that. Give it a good wipe down, and then spray it. So she has got 1 coat on the front and then 1 coat on the back. Both of these do. I'm going to make her a pale princess, so she is going to be buff, which is still darker than my skin tone. I'm going to take a mixture of brushes, but mainly detail type brushes. Put on the spectacles. I'm going to put my paint to the side and start off with the legs and all the skin on the body. So I'll be painting her legs, her arms, her chest, back, face, ears, yeah, her hands. All of that will be painted this buff color. I painted one coat with a regular paintbrush and let it dry thoroughly in between. It can be kind of streaky. If you want to use like a chalk paint underneath this first, that would help with that. But to me, I didn't have a hard time with it, but it did take 2 coats. And be sure that you let it dry thoroughly in between, so when you put your second coat on, you're not lifting up the paint that you've already put down and removing all the hard work you've already done. So you see how I sort of graduated the color going upwards? Yeah, I like that look. And now we're going to scruff it up. So I'm going to grab some 60 grit and I am going to go over that with the sandpaper and just really bite down into that paint. You'll see the colors that were underneath there, which gives it a nice look. Plus I want this to look like maybe, you know, maybe somebody went to sleep in the forest. Maybe they went to sleep in the forest. They went out there where it was nice and cool and shady in the soft moss to do some reading, and they just left the books. They just completely left the books. So we're going to age them. Going to do the same thing on the top. And I like that this beige has a greenish or bluish cast to it. It looks good, I think, with the other colors in the box. So really get down in there. And I like to start off with just taking off a little bit and then taking a little more and a little more. Because like I've said before, what have I said before, y'all? You can't put it back, but you actually can when it's paint. But it's just easier to start off light and then, you know, make it darker where you want to make it darker, or heavier where you want to make it heavier. Same process here with using the antiquing wax. I want to go definitely in the areas that are depressed or in the cracks between the books to give that shadowing. I'm also going to be sure that I get around the edges and the sides. Going to make it look nice and dirty, but not filthy. Not filthy, right? We're not doing trolls here. No, we're not doing trolls. So we're going to continue around here until I've got all the surfaces, keeping in mind that you've got those surfaces on the edge that look like the book covers. I'm also going to go around the top. I went over that with some gray and then let that dry. And then you notice on the inside that gold is still gold, but I want to make it look more burnished, more aged. So I'm going to put that wax on there too and distress it in there. Then you can get a cloth and go over the inside of it to make sure that it's even, and then look at how it looks. I love it. So I've got some brushed gold here, and I'm going to go back over any of the areas on the book pages where possibly I've gotten a different color paint. So I'm just, and it really does sort of change the color as opposed to the color that's already there. You can't notice it as much on camera as in person, but just take my word for it. And you can skip that part if you don't have this type of a book stack. I'm just here for inspiration, y'all. I want to inspire you. So this is what it looks like. And I'm going to take my foam and stick it in there. I just stacked up some foam and cut it because I didn't have a block that would fit. Now this fits in there well. You don't even have to cut it. I'm going to take my moss mat, and this was just thrifted. And I'm almost to the bottom of it, y'all. How depressing. I really love this stuff. It's so easy to work with. It's thick. It still sheds, but you know, all of the moss mats really do shed. So once I get it cut approximately the size I want it, I'm going to kind of turn it under a little bit and really push it down into there between the box and the foam. Once I know that it is going to fit, and it doesn't have to fit perfectly, like I said, you can fold it down just a tad, or you can continue to trim it. Then I'm going to grab my corners, pull them up a little bit, and then just put down some glue so it doesn't go anywhere. This is just extra assurance that this does not fall apart. Now I'm going to take some nano tape. I think there's other names for the tape, so that may be a brand name, and I'm not sponsored, so I don't know. But I thrifted this. You're going to pull that tape off. You can, and yeah, for those of you who are wondering, yes, I do find brand new items at the thrift store. And I've had this for a while now. Didn't realize what it was. And now that I know what it is, I'm using it. Okay, so here she is dried. Put your glasses on because we're going to do some detailed work here. I'm going to paint her hair. Now, I love this copper color. This is called Worn Penny. I mainly use this color during the fall when I'm crafting in the fall. But I thought for a fairy, for her to have some beautiful, rich, metallic hair, it would be perfect. So I'm just careful going around her ears. But you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. So, you know, let her dry. Then we're going to stipple on the second layer above. And it really gives a better texture to the skin and you don't see the streakiness. So now I've got some champagne colored metallic. I'm going to go over those little flowers in her hair. That's what they are. They're little flowers. I'm going to go over those. They have just a little sheen. I'm going to highlight her face. So she's going to get a little on her eyes. You know, where you would highlight. If you watch all those young folks doing the highlights on their videos, on the top lip, right on the nose, the chin. I put some on her clavicles, on her shoulders. And she's just beautiful. So we're going to go to the skirt next, and I am going to use a green color here. Now this is a brand new paint for me also. It is I opened the bottle and could not believe how rich and perfect this color is for fall. Look at that. I love it. I'll try to figure out the paint colors and let y'all know more specifically. If you need to know, just you can just put it in the comments and then I'll go grab the bottles and look it up and give you the colors. So on the top, I decided to use the champagne as well. I took 2 coats with the champagne, but you can use white on top if you make a mess, almost like an eraser, if you happen to get any skin tone on it or whatever. And then put your champagne on top. But look at the sheen that gives to it. Oh, it's beautiful. Now, you see this one? We're going to put bronze on her wings. Can y'all tell I'm feeling fall already? This is not a fall project, but it could definitely go for a late summer look. So I'm going to put this beautiful, beautiful bronze all over her wings. This is 1 coat. We're going to let her dry. And then we're going to use nail glitter on her wings, y'all. Yes, nail glitter is a very fine, if you want it that way, you can look for the fine. And you can put that on there and it gives such a beautiful coverage. They're not chunky. Yeah, I ordered this. No, I did not order this. Did I order this from Temu? This may have been something I got at the dirt cheap store, but I might have gotten this from Temu. But there's 4 colors in here and they're all in shades of orange. So this is kind of orange and yellow. Look how pretty that is with her hair. So on the back of the wings, I'm going to use my Mod Podge and I'm going to just sprinkle this on. Be sure you get a paper or some cardboard underneath so that you can save all the glitter that falls out. Then I'm going to take a very fine brush. I'm actually using my bridge brush here from Essential Stencil. And I'm going to go right up the division between each of those feathers. And I'm going to glitter just the divisions in the feathers. So it'll be like veining. Like almost like when you see a butterfly. So that's what I wanted to do for her. I'm going to shake, shake, shake and get the excess off. See? And then I'm also going to get a dry, clean, firm brush and flick away all the extra that we don't need on her wings. So anything that's out of the pattern, we'll just kind of flick that out of there. Now we need to protect her, so we're going to use some sealer. Once she is sealed and dry, we're going to start with the box. Now these little wooden pieces came from the Dollar Tree. Found a big bag of them. And it's the perfect height for her to look as though she's sitting in the grass. Then I'm going to grab my 1 piece of greenery that has a wire in it there of these scraps. Had a wire in it and it looks so pretty and viney. So I thought maybe a little semi-arch on the side would be pretty. Kind of balance it out. And then I'm going to take little pieces of the different ferns and greenery and start adding to this box. Because this fairy found these books out in the woods and decided to make a home. She's at least got a little park area, a little rest area here. So I'm going to take another piece and I kind of cut it down and I'm going to put it in the back. I like all of the texture in here, and I love that it's that rich green color because to me that looks like it is summertime. I'm going to grab those mushrooms. It's just a variety of them, and for those of you who haven't seen my other projects I did with these mushrooms, I'm going to link the video. Plus, I want to let you know that these came on a garland of wire and I took them all off. So now I'm just placing them here and there. I cut them to make them flat on the bottom and to change the heights of them. So we have some variety. I don't want everything the same. This is not a, we're not growing these to sell. We're just letting them grow in the wild, right? I'm going to use a little grass there. I'm going to poke one on the top. I'm going to add some little lights. Now you use your little tea lights. These came from the thrift store. Use little tea lights if you want. You could even use fairy lights, but be sure that you put something in there to disguise them. It just looks like a little moonlight that's filtering through. I think it's pretty. I'm going to grab some of the moss from the Dollar Tree. I'm using the green because everything in here's got the greenish tint, keeping it congruent, keeping everything, right and matching. Then I cut the bottom of this one at a slant so that it would sit on the corner of that, or the edge of it. I'm just going to keep adding down and around until I get the look that I am striving for. So far, so good, right? This is really, really pretty. Really pretty. She loves her little space. So I'm looking at it from all angles, all directions, like I always tell y'all to do. Trying to decide what I am going to put in there now. What can add to it? And I remembered I had this baby breath, and I'm just going to cut it off of the picks, and I'm going to put that right over those flowers to give her a little more dimension. And look how pretty. It looks like she's been picking flowers, and she's got one on her anklet, one on her bracelet. She's got them in her hair. And of course, if she's wearing them, then she has to have a stash of them where she's picking them, right? So let's add some in here. Adds a little light back there too. Little pops of white here and there. I'm just going to add them in. Little surprise bursts of light in there so it's not completely the bottom of the forest. And then just add them here and there, Continuing around. This is just this is my thing, y'all. Yes. Oh, my heart. My heart. This little girl needs a name. I would love for you to choose a name for her and put it in the comments. Now some news from my friend Leah Knapp.
Hey friends, I have some incredibly exciting news to share with you today. So how would you like to set sail on the crafting adventure of your lifetime? Introducing the Crafty Cruise Getaway, a one-of-a-kind experience where you can join your favorite creators from 5 YouTube channels for a relaxing and dreamy Caribbean getaway. Imagine spending 5 days surrounded by turquoise Caribbean waters, white sandy beaches, and fellow craft enthusiasts like yourself. It's the ultimate crafting getaway you will remember forever. You'll have the chance to meet and greet each YouTube creator in person. Picture yourself chatting, sharing ideas, taking selfies, laughing, and making memories, all while being inspired by their creativity firsthand. Various live crafting sessions will be held where each creator will guide you through unique and exciting projects. You'll be able to learn new techniques, discover fresh ideas, and take your crafting skills to the next level. Oh, and did I mention the fantastic onboard amenities? Enjoy world-class dining, luxurious accommodations, and many exciting activities to entertain you throughout the cruise. Take advantage of this incredible opportunity to connect, create, and cruise with some of the most talented crafters on YouTube. Due to limited space, head on over to our website, craftycruisegetaway.com, for more information on reserving your spot. Be sure to subscribe to all the participating channels for updates and exclusive content leading up to the event. I can't wait to see you on board the Crafty Cruise Getaway.
The next fairy is our log fairy. Okay, so here's the second one. She is spray painted nice and white. I'm going to use some of this brown moss from the Dollar Tree. It's floral moss. Going to use some dark espresso buff. silver of your choice, some glitter with some black in it, really fine glitter. I'm going to get into my stash of goodies from my yard that's been dried, and this beautiful piece of wood that my husband and kids found in the creek at our farm in Mississippi. This is only part of it. It is so heavy, heavy. Okay, beautiful piece. They will love the rich darkness and all the cracks in it. It's just gorgeous. Very inspiring. Okay, so look at this girl once she is put together. Now you can leave her wings like this if you wanted to, but you know, I gotta put the magic in them wings. We finna do some glitter. If at any time in my life, got to have that glitter in those fairy wings, right? Not a big fan of glitter, but I am when we're looking at our mystical woodland creatures. Okay, so these are butterfly cutouts, and I got one of my picks, my flower picks, and just cut these pieces off. I cut them off because we need these for these flowers. Now, you watch what I'm doing while I tell you a little something. If you are still here at this point, I am doing a secret giveaway. I am going to be giving away some of the burlap that has been difficult for folks to find. I have the bees and all that good stuff. I also have some fabric, but I have about a $10 bag of goodies from Dollar Tree that I want to send to one lucky person. So, what do you have to do? You have to go into the comment section, name one of those fairies, tell me which one is your favorite one. And that's it. That's all you have to do. We're going to give it about a week, and then I will let you know in your original comment, so be sure you have your notifications on. I'm going to let you know in your original comment, and I'm also going to let you know on the community page. It's very important that you get back with me within about 48 hours, okay? That's what you need to do, and you'll be qualified for a chance to win those goodies. Be sure you look down in the description box for all the details. Okay, so my son is helping me here. This is a finger dauber. I learned about these through Trish and Kay from Crafting Cousins, and they really make a difference. I also wanted to show you this cup that my son bought for me with his own money. So thank you very much for helping. So here is a dried shelf mushroom from my stash. I'm going to just trim it down a little bit because there are dips and raised areas in here, and I want it to sit as flush as possible. I'm going to use some wood glue on here, and I'm also going to use hot glue. Plus we're going to use one more thing in a moment. So I'm going to get that where I like it. Press it into place, give it just a chance for the hot glue to set up. Then I'm going to grab some of that nano tape, or whatever it's called. I'm going to fold it over on itself. I think it's called wall mounting tape at Dollar Tree. So you can get it at Dollar Tree. I'm going to roll it, and then I'm going to press it up in the little gap that I still had in between here on that mushroom. I don't want anything to fall. So we're going to see how strong this tape is. Look, the hot glue and the tape together, and I could pick that up. That's pretty amazing. I think that's going to stay. We're not putting anything heavy on the top, little one, so we're just going to leave it. Put it up there and just leave it with that. Look how beautiful her wings look with that recollection black glitter. Oh, so pretty. So we're going to seal her as well. We don't want anything coming off her wings. One good coat and let her dry out. I'm going to take that moss and go in all these little indentations. Well, not all of them, but you know, pretty good bit of them, to look like there is some life that is growing in it, even though my husband dug this out of the bottom of our creek. I'm going to take just, you know, a little stick or something and kind of poke that down in there so it looks kind of nested into that. I'm going to go down here on this bottom one too. I'm going to go right over where the crack is on the top of this one, and I'm going to make a little backing of moss here. You can use green moss if you want, but since I did so much green on the other one, I wanted this one to be a little more maybe end of summer, kind of transitioning into fall, and I think I achieved that, so I'm happy about that. You'll see in the end, right? You always let me know what you think in the end. So I'm just going to put these along here. These two branches that I got, I thrifted from the Goodwill bins. I thrifted them, and I've had them for a few years, y'all. But they are beautiful. They have sort of maybe a young tree vibe, a vine vibe. but they're really pretty. What you don't necessarily see in here, I don't think, no, I know that I did not put myself using the staple gun here. I used some shallow staples on the underside where you couldn't see it on a few pieces. I think I have 3 little sections. So I glued it and did a little stapling. Be sure you disguise that, you know, put a little paint over it so nobody sees that in there. I'm going to take another pick. I'm going to cut it in half, have it looking like 2 picks once you fluff it out, and twist up your little vines. And I think a good place here would be right in this big crack in the side. So I'm just going to add some glue and then some more moss. It's going to help hold it in. With these, I didn't have to staple. All right, and the little crack in the bottom, we're going to add one right here. So you see at the top we got high and then medium and then low. So we have a variety of heights in there, which makes it interesting to the eye. It gives you a lot to look at, as well as the depth and dimension that we always look for on our projects. So again, if you're looking for any particular color or anything of the paints that I use, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to put that down there for you. Then here are the butterfly sticks that we made. 2 of these I'm going to cut the sticks off of because I decided to put those directly down onto the vines. I think they're strong enough to hold them, and they are. And I put those back to back like that so that, you know, if you see them from the other angle, you still get a pretty color and not a white backing. We'll leave some of these on the picks so that they look as though they're flying. And look, we're going to put one right on her ankle as if she is looking at the little butterfly and it's resting on her ankle. I'm just bending it a little bit so that the wings look like they were, you know, like a butterfly. And then this tall one I'll put right in the top. Gonna add a little glue to hold that one in place. And y'all look at it. Is this not cute? I don't know. I don't guess you could say cute, but I think it's whimsical, and I think that it is just so gorgeous and woody and cottagey, and it's just beautiful. I really do think so. And I think the color of the butterflies gives it a lot of charm. That orange and gold is just really pretty. Now you can use little mushrooms to go on your areas here, you know, in any little spaces that you have, but I decided that I wanted to still just continue along with those neutral browns and greens. I took a tiny miniature wreath and just put it on that top step. You know, maybe she's a crafter too, right? We don't know. Maybe she made her own little wreath. Then I'm going to take a gumball from the yard out of our tree, and I am going to flatten it on one side, add some glue, and put it beside her. So she has a little orb beside her, just a little something interesting and pretty. And this is how it's going to look. And it will stand on its own perfectly. Look at that. And then I'm just going to get rid of all of those extra little threads of glue that I have all over the place just to clean it up. Look at these beautiful girls. They need names. I want you to name your favorite one. So there's the book fairy and the log fairy. In the comments, tell me which one's your favorite and give me a name. I need a name for her. Whichever one you like best, I'm going to need a name. When you give me that name, you are going to qualify to win some goodies from Dollar Tree. Some hard to find goodies from what I've been told by other folks. So be sure you put that in the comment section, put on your notification bell so you don't miss it when we find out in 48 hours who the winner is of the goodies. I absolutely love this. This is why I thrift. This is why I use natural items, because to me there is nothing in the world like bringing the outdoors inside. Nothing. I love it. I love to be outside too, but you know I live in the South and I'm not about the heat of the summer, but I can bring those goodies indoors and enjoy them from my air conditioning. I appreciate each and every one of you. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel so you don't miss seeing these goodies. Unique goodies. Lovely, budget-friendly goodies. Share it with somebody who you think that would like it, and give me a thumbs up. And I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!